everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today for the Kids Can Recycle Right presentation. My name is Walker Sproul and I'm a Recycle Right educator in Mecklenburg County, North Carolina. Our goal here today is talk about what is recycling and what is recyclable in Mecklenburg County. So, waste is anything that we don't need anymore. That means clothing that no longer fits, or shoes that have fallen apart, or leftovers from dinner that nobody wanted to eat. All of these things are what we call waste. Unfortunately, most waste ends up in the landfill. Landfills are giant pits where we take all truckloads and truckloads of garbage and we dump it in there, and it is eventually we put more and more and more, and it sooner or later becomes a mountain of trash. Now, it is a very neat place. It's very important for the way that we live our lives. But unfortunately, these landfills are filling up too fast. We have too much garbage going into the landfills, and it is becoming a problem because once they're full, they are full. We cannot keep putting more there, which means we would have to go find a new place for our garbage. So one important thing we need to do is reduce how much we're sending to the landfill, and recycling is a great way to do that. Recycling is when we turn old items into new items. Like this water jug is an acceptable recycling item here in Mecklenburg County. When you put that into your recycling bin at school or at home, it eventually gets turned into new items like this plastic recycling truck. Now, when I say eventually, there is a whole journey that we call the recycling journey in Mecklenburg County, and the most important thing is that first step, which is you putting the right things into your recycling bin at home or at school. Then a truck will come and pick it up and dump it inside the truck. That will then get taken to our recycling center and it gets dumped out on the floor. Just imagine those trucks dumping out all of those recyclables onto the floor, loose and bouncing around. Then it gets pushed into our recycling machines. That is one long journey through a whole bunch of different machines and people who are working together to sort out the wrong materials and make sure that the recyclables are getting to the right place at the end. Then at the end, they get made into these giant bricks. They're called bales, and they are sometimes 1,000 pounds, and they are one material. It will be all the plastic bottles made into one big brick, and all of the aluminum cans put into one big brick. What happens then is we sell those off to companies. This is all a big business, right? So we sell those off to companies, and they get to take those items and turn them in to new items like that recycling truck. Some plastic bottles are being turned into clothing, and even park benches and the benches that you find at your school are made out of recycled materials. So it turns out that recyclables are actually treasures, not trash. So if we can get them out of the waste stream, out of that garbage can before it goes to the landfill, then we can recycle it into something new. So I think that our recycle bin deserves an upgrade. And then we're going to add what we call the chasing arrows. Those, the triangle made out of arrows that is a universal symbol for recycling. Universal means that it can be recognized anywhere. Whenever you see that symbol, that means, look, pay attention. This has something to do with recycling. That does not mean that it is recyclable. It means just pay attention to this item. Now, everything that goes into your bin needs to be clean and empty, because that makes it a lot easier to deal with all of these treasures in the recycling system. But right now, unfortunately, we have too much trash mixed in with our treasures, and it is a big problem. So we are here to dig it all up and figure out what is the best way that we can move forward and recycle right. And first, we have to talk about something that is a problem in recycling, and that is plastic bags. Plastic bags are destroying our systems all over the country and all around the world, because what happens is when they come in, like on this load right here of this just got dumped out of a truck. So if you look in there, you can see lots of cans and paper and plastic bottles, which we do want. But then there's also these plastic bags mixed in there, some empty, some with recyclables inside them. And what happens is when those get pushed into that big, long machine system, they end up like this, twisted up around all the machinery, making it so that the machinery doesn't work anymore. We have to shut down the whole system and go in there with scissors and knives and cut out all of those plastic bags and tanglers. So please, first and foremost, no plastic bags in your recycling. Now that we've covered our problem, let's get into the good stuff. And those are the treasures that we can recycle. And when I say treasures, I think about a treasure chest. There are a lot of different things that we do want to find in that treasure chest, like gold coins and gems and maybe some jewelry. So let's look at what treasured items we want in our recycling bin. First one is going to be our aluminum cans. We use aluminum cans every day. What we need to do is make sure that it is clean and empty. So drink up what's inside it. Give it a little rinse. Just put this much water in the bottom and rinse it out, so that nobody has to deal with that dirty aluminum can later. And then this can is ready to go in your recycling bin. Then we have steel cans. So steel cans are another really good metal item, right? We have the aluminum cans, and then we have these metal cans right here. And sometimes they have cat food in them or some tuna. We have tomatoes or some beans. But be careful when you're cleaning out this can, because this inside edge right here is very sharp. And so we do need all items to be clean and empty. And so if it's not clean, if you can't get it clean like this, that's okay. But dirty items need to go in the garbage can. If you want it to be recycled, we need to make sure that it is clean and empty before it goes into our recycling bin. Just remember, those inside rims are very sharp. Then we have plastic bottles. So there are a lot of plastic things out there. We deal with plastic all the time, left and right. Everywhere we look, there's plastic, but not all plastic is recyclable. So the plastics that we do accept are plastics that have a neck. So can you put your hands on your neck right now? All right. And see how your shoulders go out from your neck? Well, those are the bottles that we want. The ones that have a neck and then shoulders that go out. So these kinds of plastic bottles, see? The opening, the neck, and then it goes out. So these are the only plastics that we want. Now, sometimes they're going to be bigger bottles like laundry detergent. They have that pourable neck, that spout. And so those, while there are a lot of plastics out there, These are the only plastics that we want. But what do we need to do first? We need to drink up what's inside, and then we empty it out, dry it out, and then we put it in our recycling bin. Then we have glass bottles and jars. So these are things that you might eat food out of, like this applesauce jar that I have right here, or even this mason jar right here. But we need to make sure to take off this plastic cap because it does not go in the recycling. So first we need to empty it out, make sure that we drink or eat whatever's inside it, clean it out, and then carefully put these in your recycling bin to go to the recycling center. So next we're going to talk about paper, and paper is a big topic when it comes to recycling because there are a lot of things made out of paper. We have junk mail and magazines and schoolwork after you're finished with it. We have those art projects that we did, but the only ones that we want are pieces that are pretty big. We can't take those little scraps or shredded paper. Those need to go in your garbage can. But if there are big pieces or even whole pieces of paper, we definitely want those. We love junk mail, so everybody gets junk mail at their house, and that can go straight into your recycling bin, still inside the envelope. Then we have paperboard. So paperboard is typically boxes like oatmeal or cereal or tissues, something like that. It's also the core to your paper towels or your toilet paper. You just want to make sure that there's no paper towel or toilet paper left on it, and you can put those right in your recycling bin. But with those cereal boxes, first we need to make sure that we eat the food that's inside the box, and then take out that plastic bag or those little pouches that were left inside there before you recycle it. That plastic bag and those pouches go in the garbage can. The paperboard box can then be flattened down and put into your recycling bin. And while talking about flattening down boxes, we'll jump to our cardboard boxes. Everybody sees a lot of cardboard boxes these days. And one of the most important things that we can recycle is cardboard boxes. They can be turned around and remade into new boxes in months. Just a couple of months and it's a whole new box with all new items in it. So the more that we can recycle these boxes, then we can reuse that paper and not have to cut down more trees to make more boxes. So with these cardboard boxes, we need to make sure to take everything out that is inside the box. It needs to be completely empty. Then we need to flatten it down. Sometimes that can be pretty hard and you might need an adult to help you cut the tape. But if you can flatten that box down before you put it in your recycling bin, then that turns it into an A+ treasure. Now, just want to say again, everything that goes in there needs to be clean and empty. Remember, there are people working with this stuff later, the people who are working in the big machines to sort it. Those people are going to be touching all of this stuff. So we want to make sure that it is as easy as possible for them to make sure that they are recycling right too. So we're going to play a quick game of Can You Recycle Right? We are going to run through a few items and you let me know which one you think is recyclable. So we're going to go through school tools first. We have a 3-ring binder. We have a pair of scissors, a wooden pencil, and some notebook paper. Which one do you think is recyclable? That's right, that notebook paper is recyclable. Now, when it comes to scissors, they are made of metal, but the truth is that those are actually very dangerous. If that ends up in your recycle bin, remember those people working in the recycling center? Those scissors can hurt them and cut them. So we have to make sure that we're only putting into the recycling bin the correct items. Scissors need to be dealt with differently, whether they are put into your garbage can or you find somebody else who can use those scissors that you don't need anymore. Now, which lunch item is recyclable? We have plastic utensils, an apple core, a tin can, a paper plate, and a plastic container. Which item is recyclable? Excellent, that steel can is recyclable. And I did hear somebody say that that paper plate is recyclable because it is paper, and that is not true. Paper plates and paper cups are garbage. Anything that has food on it is going to end up going into the garbage can. That plastic container, it is made of plastic, but it does not have a spout. It does not have a neck and shoulders, so it is not recyclable. All of those other items need to go in the garbage can. And remember, that steel can has a very sharp lip, so be careful when cleaning out that food. Which plastic object is a recyclable treasure? We have a plastic bag. All right, no plastic bags. Excellent. We have that plastic pool, a plastic bottle, a plastic pencil, and a plastic cup. And which object is recyclable? Excellent. We have that plastic bottle is recyclable, and we see that it is empty, and they went ahead and put the cap right back on there. The cap is okay to be on top of your bottle as long as it is empty. So you can put the cap back on there, but if you put the cap in there separately, then it's going to fall through the cracks. So if you want the cap to be recycled, put it back on there after you have cleaned out the bottle. Which food container is recyclable? We have a plastic zipper bag, yogurt cups, a cereal box, a plastic clamshell, and a styrofoam clamshell. Which one is recyclable? That paper box is recyclable. Excellent. What do we need to do first? Eat up that cereal. That's right. Then we need to take out that plastic bag and put that bag in the garbage can. And then that paper box can be recycled. So y'all did such a good job. I am so proud of you. I'm changing this from can you recycle right to you can recycle right. High fives all around. I am so grateful that y'all have hung out with me today because this is such an exciting and important topic to me and to so many people. And I hope that this gives you a taste of how you can reduce landfill use by recycling right. And I'm going to touch on our one biggest problem that we have with recycling. Do y'all remember what that is? That's right. No plastic bags in your recycling bin. Thank you so much. I knew y'all got that message, and that is the most important thing, is no plastic bags in your recycling bin. Well, I really appreciate you hanging out with me today. Y'all have just filled me up with so much energy to keep moving forward and empowering people to recycle right. If you have any more questions, please do contact us through our website at wipeoutwaste.com. When in doubt, throw it out or give us a shout. And thank you for recycling right.